What's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. Back in my gym doing my workout every morning. I want to give an update on the payment deferments. This is something that I'm just going to keep pushing it because there's companies that are just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. When I first started talking about payment deferments, I had told everyone the reason why I'm on this early is because of what happened in 2008. The companies were given bailout money and they went back on their words and they took people's homes and turned off their credit cards, did all types of stuff, even though those people had lost their jobs. We're in a worse situation now. There was never a lockdown in 2008. The companies have gotten the first part of their bailout money. There's going to be another bailout proposal that's put together that's going to give them even more money. And so what I've started seeing is, and this is exactly what I had talked about, is that once they got their money, they were going to start playing games on doing deferments. Not to say that you can't get the deferments, but they're trying to play games and run people in circles. And that's why I designed my program. And there have been people that got my program, they got deferments with some, and others they were trying to hold back. And what I do in that program is I go and find a specific section, either with their governor or with the company themselves. A lot of these companies were claiming they don't do deferments, and then you go right to their website and it says this is what you got to do to get a deferment. A lot of them are hiding it. So what you have to end up doing is going to the government and looking at what the governor of your state requires of them, and then you put that in their face and say, okay, what are you going to do for me? Because this is what the governor said, and I'm gonna, if you don't do something about this, I'm going to write to the governor and to every department that handles your license to be able to do business in our state. So you can defer the major ones that I want everyone to concentrate on deferments. Your car payments, your mortgage. Now, this is if you just don't have the money. If you had the money to pay it, pay it. I'm talking about if you don't have the money to pay it and you don't have savings put up. You could defer your mortgage, you could defer your car payment, you could defer credit card payments, you could defer personal loans, you could defer student loans. Obviously, everybody's used to deferring student loans. You could defer payments to department store credit cards, payday loans, if I didn't say that, auto title loans, if I didn't say that, medical bills. Any type of company that offers consumer credit, you can get deferments on. When it comes to your rent, it's going to be a little bit sticky. You could potentially have to get it deferred, but you got to play catch up. With the other companies, when you do a deferment, you just start off. Once the deferment is over, you just start making your regular payment. They put the payments on the backside. When it comes to your mortgage and even with your utilities, there's a potential where you're going to have to pay extra to play catch up with those because it's different type of scenario. They're not actually lending money to you. You're actually utilizing a service. But not to say that it's not possible. If your landlord is smart, they went and got payment relief from number one, from their mortgage company. And then number two, they can actually get paid the money from the federal government in the disaster relief fund. They can actually get the payments that they're going to miss from the mortgage on that property, as long as it's a separate LLC. They can't do it if they have an apartment building. But if they have let's just say a landlord has 10 houses. Let's just keep it simple. And they set each of those up in different LLCs. And you might be saying, why did they do that? They all do that. Every property that I've done, it was done in a different LLC. And I have other people that are investments in properties. They do them in a different LLC because that protects protection is just with that. If anything happens, it only goes after that LLC, not after everything else. So that's why people do it in different LLCs. And then if the landlord did that, and maybe you're a landlord and you just don't know about this, you can go get the disaster relief fund, which is on the SBA's website, and you can get the mortgage. If you owe a mortgage on it, you can get that relief payment on that. It'll actually pay the mortgage for the next 3 months. You can actually get that, and it'll be a grant. You only have to pay the money back as long as you prove that it went to the mortgage. So if you're good with your landlord and that maybe they own different houses, that you can just say, hey, you know, we're all struggling. I know you're struggling. Is this something that you looked into? I saw it on YouTube with the credit repair shop. You can even forward him over to me and I can lead him that way. I know for a fact several businesses that have actually gotten their payment of $10,000, and we even did it for our companies because I mean it's a grant and it could just put relief on things that you got to do for the business. So I would encourage you, if you are renting, to notify your landlord of that. Now, if they have a big apartment units, it's not going to work. This is going to be for smaller ones. So please stay safe. Stay positive. Don't sit there watching the news on this stuff. When you go to bed at night, don't have the radio or TV on this stuff. You need to put it on something very positive. You need to feed your subconscious mind, because if you don't, you're going to end up getting sick, solely because what you think about is what you become. What you think about is what you become. It is when external suggestions come to you, everybody's getting sick, everybody this and that, everybody this is happening, everybody losing money, everybody this and that, and you let that internalize into your subconscious, you're going to materialize that. You're going to only start seeing that. So it's very important that you don't stay plugged into all of that stuff. Stay positive. Continue to think positive. Do your daily visualization, treatments where you visualize success. You visualize the now. You're successful now. You visualize being healthy now. You visualize as if you're doing what you're visualizing. You can't, when you visualize, you can't think of it being in the future. It won't work. The subconscious only accepts what's going on now. It cannot know what's in the future or what was in the past. It only thinks of what you fed into it, and it's going to keep reliving what you've put into it. And the only way to change negative feelings in your subconscious so you can start reacting the right way is to act as if it is happening now. When you visualize something, you're doing it now. And when you start to visualize yourself doing it and you have that thought come into your mind where you're like, I'm really not doing that, you must put that thought aside. Let me give you an example. If you want to visualize that 6 months from now, but you don't say in your visualization 6 months from now, you just visualize what you want 6 months from now. So you don't say 6 months from now, this is what I'm going to be doing. No, you act and you visualize doing that now as if it's today. And then a thought is going to come into your mind of, how am I going to be doing that? It's not going to be that way. Right there is where you have to put that aside. That's what's called a subconscious. Not a subconscious. That's where your conscious mind is going to start feeding into the doubts. Like this can't happen because this is what happened in the past. It even wakens parts of your subconscious mind to start showing you that you thought about doing that years ago and it didn't work. So you have to train yourself to put that aside. it takes practice. It takes practice, but this is the big huge benefit of doing it is that when you get used to doing it, you will see that your reality is going to change. That people will come to you. People that you didn't even think about, or good things that you didn't even think about, will happen for you. Trust me. If I could, if you were here in my home office and you saw how we've flipped, like my marketing company is very, where we were door to door, in front of people, seeing people all the time. And now how that business has flipped to where now 75% we don't even have to see people. And the opportunity that it has made for that company, we're taking this opportunity to actually transition that business to actually allow all of those employees to have more freedom. Because I can see now it took something like this to happen to show me that even with something that is successful, and you don't want to mess with success because you don't want to tinker with it, that you could still change that to even be better than what it was. And trust me, if you have not ever had a successful business where you're like it's on cruise control, you're making very good money, you don't have to, me myself personally don't have to do really much for my marketing company. I just love marketing, so I'm always just in there. I'm in my office. I love doing it. But you don't want to tinker with stuff like that. You want to just let it keep cruising. And so you can even you can even feed your subconscious over time that it has to stay that way. Don't try nothing new. Well, because of what happened with this virus, we've tried new things. I won't even say we tried, we implemented new things. And I see that now this company, the company that was just in one city, will be able to go nationwide with a plan that I'm going to be putting into place, or that I am putting into place. And so that just goes to show that sometimes you have to get, hit upside the head or slapped in the face to let you know that you control what you want to happen, not something that's on the outside, because the business is on the outside. The business runs like it is, but that's still external. You control what you want your life to be, and that's internal. And whatever the internal believes and puts into place and implements will materialize on the outside. The business that I have now with that company is what I had internalized years ago in 1990 when my wife and I started it. It is exactly what I had wanted it to be. And now I need to change that on the inside, and then it'll materialize as something on the outside. And that's a lesson for you. I know I'm talking about business, but this is what we have to do for anything that we want to change in our lives. And sometimes it seems like it could be an uphill battle. Sometimes it seems like it's impossible. And that goes back to what I was talking about, is that when that thought comes into your mind, you must push that thought away, and you must stay in what is called, if you look at Reverend Ike, he calls it the transformative level, where you're thinking and you're not allowing the how to come into it. And you're not allowing for doubts to come into your mind. So when you look at, okay, I'm going to change and do this, you can't say I'm going to change in 6 months. You have to say I'm changed. Start visualizing what that looks like. What if you're trying to lose weight? What does your body look like? What are you going to be eating? What are you going to be doing? How are you going to be feeling now? And then when those doubts come up, you're not already like that now. So how are you going to get to that? Tried to do that years ago. That's the part you got to put aside. You have to not worry. That is not of us to worry about. And I know that that's very hard. It's when I try to explain it to people, it's very difficult because it goes more into your belief. And so that's why everything is internal instead of external. There's been plenty of times where I've given people instruction, given people information, and it's like, this is the exact stuff that I used to get the result I wanted, and why you're not, and then they try it and they don't get the result. And it's because of the belief level. It's because of the thought. When they looked at making that transformation, they thought too much about how to do it. The doubts started pulling up, and so they just were not able to do it. So I'm going to end the video here, and I'm going to put on my little yellow box on there, just in case. If you are in my you did get the payment deferment program. If you got it, I'm going to be sending a video, or you need to log in because I'm going to be posting a video giving you some updates, because I got a whole long list of banks that have said that they're going to do deferments, forbearances, all types of stuff. And I want you to see that list so we can put these people on record. Because a lot of these banks, when people call, they pretend like they're just not going to be doing it. All right, this is Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. Until next time, thank you.